Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. About 2 days ago, the Azimio Brigade led by Raila Odinga issued a press brief where they threatened that if the ongoing talks, bipartisan talks, will be held in parliament, then Azimio won't be part of the talks. That was about 2 days ago. Those remarks by Azimio seems to have scared William Ruto and his team. Ruto seems to be climbing down and is now accepting that they can engage outside parliament. In this video, I want us to dig deep into that story for Kenyans to understand the political games being played behind the scenes. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. Let's continue. Let's have a look at the story as captured by some print media. Two sides abandon hardline stances, agree to collapse the meetings, and moved venue outside house. Win-win for Raila Ruto as teams agree to talks outside parliament. If you go through that story, President William Ruto reportedly called the majority leadership in parliament and instructed them to agree to Azimio's demands for dialogue talks outside parliament. While it is not clear if the president yielded to Azimio boss Raila Odinga's demand for an unparliamentary initiative, the talks will happen at a venue away from the August House. The Stars established that the president's direct intervention was the game changer for the fate of the dialogue that was teetering on the brink of collapse as both sides stuck to their guns. I can confirm that it was the president who called the likes of Ichung'wa and Murugara and told them to agree to hold the talks at any location if that is what would jumpstart the initiative. A Kenya Kwanza MP close to the president. He said the president's decision was arrived at after it appeared that Azimio would resume their street protests next week if the talks failed to take off as initially agreed. The move was a strategic climb down to demonstrate goodwill and leadership on the side of the parliament and set the talks on a trajectory of progress, the vocal MP added, on condition of anonymity. From that story, that member of parliament, a very close William Ruto ally, is confirming that Ruto himself called Kimani Ichung'wa and the Kenya Kwanza leadership in parliament and instructed them to agree to talks outside parliament. And that's what Raila Odinga and the Azimio Brigade have been pushing for. Raila has made it very clear that they don't want the talks to be done in parliament. William Ruto and his team have been against that. But this new directive by William Ruto seems to be suggesting that Ruto is climbing down. He might now be embracing Azimio's demands of the talks being done outside parliament. What are the games here, ladies and gentlemen? The first thing coming out very clearly, it's a fact, and this has now been confirmed, that William Ruto fears Azimio's countrywide demonstrations. And I've always maintained here that in the event demonstrations are called by Azimio, then anything can happen. William Ruto himself, as the president, in the event there are countrywide demonstrations, he is also not safe as the president, because the demonstrations can actually turn into something else. So Ruto himself is not safe. And I think William Ruto is just trying to avoid the demonstrations. And then secondly, it appears that the only language William Ruto and his team understands all is the language of protest and demonstrations. I remember even before the demonstrations were called, Raila gave some ultimatum. First, he gave 2 weeks ultimatum. William Ruto and his team were really attacking and mocking Raila Odinga. After the elapse of the 2 weeks, Raila made it now clear he gave them about another 2 weeks. And then he said now the date of the commencement of the demonstrations to be 20th. William Ruto and his team actually was still attacking, mocking and insulting the Azimio brigade. It's only after Raila and his team started the demonstrations that we saw William Ruto extending an olive branch to the Azimio brigade. So it's clear beyond any reasonable doubt that the only language William Ruto and his team understands is the language of demonstrations. Without demonstrations, William Ruto cannot be engaging Raila Odinga and his team. And that confirms one thing. Ruto knows that he has lost the ground. The ground is fast dumping him. And in the event demonstrations are called, then the demonstrations are exposing his government as a very unpopular government. So again, because from what we have seen, William Ruto and his team, they don't want that kind of a publicity. Any event that creates a perception that they are very unpopular, William Ruto and his team don't want that. He is trying to avoid that by actually now extending, or rather climbing down from his earlier hardline stance. And that also goes on to confirm that this is a very confused government. A government that does not have even the plan. They just act or behave out of emotions. If they feel they're being cornered, then they yield a bit. If the situation stabilizes, then they harden again their stance. And I'm saying that because even today, Raila held a very successful political tour in Murang'a County. And yesterday, even before that tour, Ruto's government had actually outlawed that political tour. The government yesterday made that tour illegal. But Raila and his team moved on with that political tour. So it's also coming out very clearly that if Raila and his team do not push this government to the wall, then this is a government that is very, very dictatorial. They must be pushed to the wall. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. In case you are watching us, but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. And to our fans and subscribers here, I'm very much humble, very grateful for the kind of support you are giving me here. God bless you. God bless Kenya. Any other person watching us outside Kenya, drop a comment. Let us know from which part of the globe you are watching us from. And if possible, subscribe, give this video a like. That confirms one thing. All that confirms one thing. Serious panic, serious tension in Ruto's government. State House is becoming hot. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you.